Hi guys, I'm trying to get you to do something about your marriages before it's like the wrong kind of too late. Um, they did a study, okay? They did a study a while back that they took a couple and they recorded them while they were arguing, okay? Which I think I would kind of want that because I'd want some evidence that my wife might maybe said something. Maybe she wants evidence that I said something, whatever. So they recorded them in the heat of their argument and then had them go back and watch it, right? So they go back and they're watching it and they ask the man and they ask the woman, so what were you thinking while she was saying that to you, while he was saying that to you? What were you thinking while you were saying that to them? That sort of thing, right? One of the things they found was the man's thoughts were far more aggressive and oftentimes violent than the woman's thoughts, right? You ever watch a TV show and a husband murders the wife or a wife is murdered and they're like, hey, it's always the husband, okay? The problem is that's too true way too often. That is too true way too often. So I'm just making sure I'm good to go. All right, thanks, man. It's too true way too often. So, close to our town, tragedy struck a home. One of my son's friends, the girl that he liked, just got shot the other day by her dad in a domestic dispute where the dad ends up killing the mom, shooting the daughter, and then killing himself. My son's friend was actually supposed to be there that night for dinner and was late. Had he been on time, who knows, maybe he's caught up in it. He's probably feeling guilty because he thinks maybe he could have done something to stop it. Maybe it would have been different. I bring all that up, though, because I really don't think that man had any intentions of being the kind of husband that would just murder his wife one day. A lot of things come together to get to that point. But a lot of it is when we let resentment just build. And then we medicate resentment with toxins in our bodies. He was drinking that night and then shot his daughter and killed his wife. We've got to do something. We've got to do something about the struggling marriages that we have. You've got to do something about it. Something can be done. It's not worth sitting there in so much misery for so long. It's really not worth it. Bible says a couple things. It says it's better to dwell on the rooftop than in the house with a contentious woman. It says something else in another place. It's better to dwell in the wilderness than at home with a contentious woman. Now, this is not to say women are the only problem. I'm just saying what the verses say. It's better to separate yourself from the contentions. Take those breaks, take those times to get rejuvenated so that you can do the things that you need to do instead of just sitting there and taking it all the time. Because if you just sit there and take it all the time, it will build into something incredibly dark. Incredibly dark. And it can do more than just lead to divorce. It can do more than just make things hard in your life. Some of us are wrapped up into a marriage and financial situations and kids and all these sorts of things where divorce seems worse than marriage, even though you're really unhappy. It's in those situations, and then you add a little bit of fuel like alcohol or something like that. It's in those situations where you get so angry and in such a state of despair that you do something absolutely terrible. Get the help you need. Go to marriage counseling. If you can't do that, dude, work on yourself, man. It is possible to be the kind of husband that sets boundaries for himself, that says, okay, regardless of what my wife is going to do, this is who I am going to be. And when you do that, you find a way to actually be at peace with certain things. And everything your spouse does to provoke you doesn't provoke you to major forms of wrath because you've learned to get a handle on it. We must do it before things become too bad. All right, that's just my warning to everybody. See you guys next time.